fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition of the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network, brought to you by our lovely sponsors at onlinecasinogames.com. Go to onlinecasinogames.com, use promo code BNX20, get yourself $20 in free chips right away into your account. Nate Horning here, your host, better known online as Shaggy Bets. I got producer Sook helping me out in the shadows today. And we got a lot to talk about today, folks. We are going to talk about some MLS for today. We're going to talk about tomorrow's third place World Cup match between France and England. We're going to talk about Sunday's World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. We're going to get into some Heisman looks as well. I do have a Heisman odds piece over at bettingnews.com. I'm going to talk about three guys that I hate to win this award, three guys that are not going to win the Heisman. We'll talk about that here in a sec. There's actually a social video going around as well, so be sure to like, subscribe, peep the socials, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, episode 97 of the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network. Last one of the week. I'll be back on Monday, folks, but we got plenty to get into today. A full slate of baseball, as well as baseball returns to our screens. We had one game yesterday, post All-Star break, between the Mets and the Phillies. I'm glad I didn't bet it because I would have been all over the Phillies. And guess what? The Mets came through with a 4-1 win at Citizens Bank Park. But now we have pretty much every single team is in action tonight over the next 3 days in the MLB. So I'm probably not going to get into it right here on this show, but I am going to have some MLB scribbles out later this afternoon for tonight's slate. Spoiler alert, it's Friday. Kansas City plays at home. I think you guys have an idea of where my head's going there. Might have to just run back the system play, but we'll have those scribbles at bettingnews.com here shortly. Yeah, the Seattle Sounders. Not great last night, Ron. Not great for our Bozo Pack. Unfortunately, I killed the first leg. Didn't even make it to Friday. But you can go ahead and throw in Nashville with Chris Kavanaugh assist if you'd like, if you want to run back the Ron and Shaggy Bozo Pack one more time. Yeah, Seattle Sounders looked absolutely terrible last night, losing 5-1 on their home field against a team that, again, they're very familiar with, and a team that's really not that good. Portland Timbers, they stepped up when they needed it. Only one goal in the first half of this match. Portland got the scoring start in 19 minutes, but then we saw just a 1-0 lead at halftime. Eventually, it became 2-0 Portland, 3-0 Portland, even 4-0 Portland before Seattle found a goal in the 87th minute, but that wasn't the end of the scoring. Portland got one in stoppage time to really step on their neck, make sure they're in the ground, because a 5-1 defeat for the Seattle Sounders at home, not good at all. First game back. Exactly, right? These guys have had 2 months off at least for the World Cup. Now they're trying to get back. They're shaking the rust off. Seattle just maybe not in great form after having been shut out twice prior to this World Cup break. Now they come back with a 5-1 defeat at home. Not good if you're the Seattle Sounders fans. Not good if you got a Seattle Sounders ticket to win the MLS Cup like myself. Whitecaps did void, fortunately for us. We don't know how that game would have ended up, but Vancouver and Chicago, that match got canceled last night in Chicago due to the air quality. Sook, what do you guys have going up there in Canada? But it's messing with all the northern states here. But prayers to those impacted by the wildfires out in Canada, as always. But yeah, that match between the Fire and the Vancouver Whitecaps postponed because of the weather. We're gonna have to wait for Robert Lewandowski's MLS debut. But yes, Alex did his thing. Aaron Nola came through for the kids, 6 strikeouts, only needed 5. And then we got a Whitecaps void. So, parlay works out, still hits, and we'll have to run it back. Absolutely, because we got plays for today. 2 MLS matches today that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. We've got Nashville hosting Atlanta, and then the LA Galaxy hosting LAFC out in Los Angeles. We're going to talk about those here in a little bit. 6 was plus money. Indeed, Aaron Nola coming through for the kids last night. But before we get into today's plays, as always, let's bring up some Geosports. Frank Mike Smith, the man. We have been having a phenomenal week on the betting board. Gregorius is going with the Galaxy money line tonight. All right. Well, we are going to have to agree to disagree, and that's A-okay. That's the beauty of sports gambling. Disney's going to find something in the 12:30 game for us. Apparently, there's baseball going off in an hour and a half. I'm going to avoid that game. I'll be looking at stuff later in the slate, but that's okay. Let's get into this. Had a great week of Geosports. $9.99, $9.96, $9.89. And then a perfect score last night for Disney's return. So we're going to try and do that again, see if we can't get a couple perfect scores in a row. Questions written by the man himself. See how we do. Bill Belichick, best known for the Patriots dynasty, but he got his first head coaching job in this city. I know he was on the Browns staff. I don't think he was a head coach there, or was he? I'm just going to wait for Drip because Drip knows the answer to every single one of these questions every single day. He claims he doesn't Google, and I'm going to believe him. Drip just knows ball. He's got that ballage, right, Disney? Yeah, Belichick was on the Browns staff. I'm not convinced that that's where his first head coaching gig was. Baltimore sounds more like it, Drip. I don't like that you have a question mark, though. I need some conviction from you, Drip. I could go with Baltimore, though. It's a rock solid guess. Better guess than I do, because I'm pretty sure he just went he was on the Browns as an assistant or a defensive. The Jets? I think it was the Baltimore Colts. Is he that old? When the hell did the Baltimore Colts stop being a thing? Till 83? Wow. I wouldn't have put it that late. SPJ saying the Jets? Is it the Jets? It is the Browns. Is it the Browns? Papa Shaq coming in with some conviction, excuse me. Saving my butt. I thought it was the Browns. I couldn't quite get there. Papa Shaq's coming in clutch. Coming in clutch as always. Belichick took over the Browns in 91. I did put a question mark. You're right, Drip. You did. You saved me there. Belichick took over the Browns in 91 as the NFL's youngest head coach at 38 years old with Nick Saban as his coordinator, went 36-44 in Cleveland, fired when the team bolted for Baltimore. There you have it. Drip's Google must be bucking today. Look, Drip said he didn't Google, and I'm trusting him, right? We're rocking with the honor system here. Question 2. Barry Bonds was drafted by the Giants in 1982, but didn't sign, heading to college on this campus instead. Why do I get Pac-12 vibes from Barry Bonds? There's no reason why I would know this. Not a baseball guy. Definitely not a college baseball guy. What state is known for juices? Arizona? Do you mean teas, Sook? I get it. Yeah. Steroid joke. I get it. Arizona? Is that right? Is it Arizona? Tucson? Tucson's way down here, right? Because I know is that really Phoenix? Put the pin on Betsky's house. Well, the problem is Betsky's house, I believe he's a Tempe guy. Let me make sure. Am I in the right? I'm in New Mexico. That's for starters. Let's get out of New Mexico and into Arizona. This guy is Phoenix. Well, you said Tucson? Tucson? Drip saying Arizona State now. Okay, Arizona State's in Phoenix. Tucson, I believe, is down here. Are we thinking Arizona State? Arizona or ASU? Okay, it's either Arizona or Arizona State. Drip saying Arizona State with a little conviction. Same with SPJ. I'm saying State because of Papa. Yeah, we're going to listen to Papa here. We're going to listen to Papa. Tempe, I believe, is this area. We'll see how close we are to campus. But I found Phoenix. I was looking in New Mexico for Phoenix for a while, but we did find Phoenix. We're in Arizona. That's Tempe. Let's see if it's Arizona State. South Central Phoenix. There it is, Arizona State. Good job, chat. Good job, chat. Great job. The Giants, they took Bonds in the second round in 1982, but a $5,000 gap in bonus talks sent him to Arizona State, where he hit .347 with 45 home runs. Pirates drafted him 6th overall in 1985. $5,000 was all you needed to muscle up to get Barry Bonds to not go to college. It really worked out for the Giants, didn't it? 5,000. I mean, I get it's more money than, nowadays back in 1982, but man, Giants, you missed out. Took him in the second round. I mean, eventually they got him back. So I guess it worked out for everybody. Moving on, before completing the career Grand Slam, Rory McIlroy won his first major, the U.S. Open, in 2011 in this city. Well, we're somewhere in the U.S. Check. Boom. Got the country. I really don't know. Where was the 2011 U.S. Open? That is the question. My head goes northeast just because I know a lot of U.S. Opens are played there in that area. As far as where Rory won, I feel like I should know this because I feel like it's been talked about plenty. If congressional. Yeah. All right, Pops. All right, congressional it is. Now I'm gonna ask for a city and state. Please and thank you, chat. Because I got no clue. I'm just gonna sit back, let you guys handle this one. Enjoy my coffee. Congressional. I don't want to just Google this, but no clue from Embiid. That's okay. Maryland is all I know, says Bisney. Take a stab, risk your score. I ain't doing that. No, I should do that. Wow, I tried to cheat, folks, and it didn't even tell me. But we're gonna go with Maryland. Not seeing Sook on the screen competing against Big Biz. Hey, man, they're scared of Big Biz. We threw out Maryland. I'm going to go with Maryland. Might as well trust the chat here. Best I got. Wow, right next to the DMV. There it is. McIlroy won the 2011 U.S. Open at Congressional Country Club by 8 strokes. Posting a record 16 under 268 at age 22. Finally competed the career Grand Slam at the 2025 Masters. Using big as an objective for yourself is hilarious. Yeah, Drip, I think, yeah, you said that. You told me. No idea where that was, but you told me. I just didn't look for it. Oh, wow, we can rotate the map, which I don't know how I just did that, but I want it back to normal. We'll see if it happens or not. Nope, I'm looking with this camera angle now. All right. In 1992, the U.S. Dream Team steamrolled to Olympic gold, closing with a 32-point blowout in this city. I got to figure out how do I mix the map? fix the map? I don't know. We're using this camera angle now, folks. 1992 Dream Team, 1992 Olympics. I've got no idea. I have no earthly idea. This is my lack of random geographical sports knowledge. I know Christian Laettner was on the team.
I know it was in Barcelona, I think, 92.
Okay.
But who did they play last? They played Angola first.
No, that's the answer to the question, is where was the 32-point blowout?
Oh, Barcelona, I'm pretty sure.
Barcelona. There we go. So far, this list has been easy for an old guy. Well, we found Barcelona the other day. That's that guy. This camera angle is actually pissing me off, and I don't know how to fix it. But we're rolling with it anyways. Finally, I see this guy pop up. Dream Team went 8-0 in Barcelona. There you have, winning by an average of 43.8 points. Its closest game was the final, 117-85, a rout of Croatia. First Olympic squad built with NBA pros. He wouldn't pop up on 1,000 game. Guys, we like Sook. We like him. We want to keep him around, all right? We need some positive reinforcement. The guy pops up and gives us an answer. We need to reward that, all right? We need to reward that. Come on, folks. Pro hockey returned to this city in 2011 after a struggling Atlanta franchise relocated. Oh, where did the Thrashers go?
They went back to Winnipeg.
Is it the Jets? Okay, thank you. I thought it was Manitoba. This map, how did I change the angle of this map? I don't know what I did, but I can't fix it. It's pissing me off. But I know Winnipeg's in this area. It's kind of above Minnesota, I believe. Near the border. Like near the border. Bottom right. Bottom right from where I was. Probably the shift, scroll, mouse, or control and scroll wheel. Control and scroll wheel, not happening. Can you think of me with questions all the time? I'll talk to him, Pops. I'll talk to Frank, and I'll talk to Frank and get him. If I fuck this up, I'll call him Big Biz forever. Wow. All right, so well, pop on up here and tell me exactly where Winnipeg is.
Okay, why aren't we seeing the provincial lines for Canada?
See, that's you're just gonna
scroll out a little bit.
Scroll. Sorry.
I feel like that's relatively close. Ontario's right next to it. Maybe we go a little bit more left, but that's of the metropolitan area, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good metro area.
Okay, and there's not another one in Manitoba.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so if it's Big Biz for the rest of my life, you know why.
Let's figure it out. You like that spot? We're locking it in. Here we go. He nailed it. Sook got it. Sook nailed it. Love to see it. Winnipeg, Canada. The Atlanta Thrashers moved north in 2011 to become the revived Winnipeg Jets, restoring NHL hockey 15 years after the original Jets left for Phoenix. First home game sold out within minutes as the market roared back. Bam. Hey, that'll do, folks. All right. That's on me, not letting you guys hold my hand to find congressional, right? I just went in the vicinity of Maryland. I'm sure y'all would have pinpointed me exactly where you're at. Bisney, this is good. This is a good photo. Good photo of Sook here. Sook, I don't know if you can see. This is what Bisney sent me. He said that's you right now. So great photo. Fantastic photo. Folks, 996. All right. Solid week. Never below a 99. We had a 989. We're rounding that up to a 99. All right. 5 days in a row 99 or better. We're taking that, ladies and gentlemen, every single day of the week. Big thanks to all of you, chat, helping me hold my hand through the process. As always, appreciate you being here. We have some fun. We learned something new. Papa Shags loved that round. 5 for 5 for Papa Shags. Absolutely love it. All right, folks. Let's get down to business because we got a lot to talk about today. We got 2 MLS matches to discuss. We're going to talk about the third place match tomorrow. We're going to talk about the World Cup final on Sunday. Before we get into some soccer, let's put on the college football brain. Let's put on the college football brain and talk some Heisman odds. All right, I am going to just read off kind of the Heisman list right now based on the betting board. Right now, you got CJ Carr is pretty much your favorite everywhere. CJ Carr, sophomore quarterback for Notre Dame, returning quarterback for the Irish, basically the overall betting favorite pretty much everywhere for the Heisman odds. I like that. I like CJ Carr. I like this Notre Dame football team. This guy has already been in the system once, right? He was their starting quarterback last year. He was a true freshman. He had some big shoes to fill. A team coming off a national championship loss, pressure was there. What happened with Notre Dame? They were right on the cusp of the playoff, couldn't quite get in thanks to that head-to-head loss to Miami early on in the season. But CJ Carr, another year more mature, another year older, still with Marcus Freeman, the ultimate motivator. And I think Notre Dame is going to be very, very good this year. They're already probably going to be either number 1 or number 2 in the country in the preseason rankings. This is going to be a good team. Is going to be a team that is definitely in the top 12 in the college football playoff come January. And I think this is a team that can compete for the national title. Backing the quarterback of a potential national title team is usually a good play when picking a Heisman winner. We've seen it plenty in the past. The national champion QB wins the Heisman. We saw it last year with Fernando Mendoza. So, CJ Carr to win the Heisman, I get that the odds are lower than you'd like. You're seeing him about 7-1, maybe 8-1 on some books, but he is the betting favorite, which will scare some people off. I get that. However, I think CJ Carr is going to be rock solid this season. He's got a great team around him, great coaches around him, and again, Notre Dame going to be a decent team this year. I think CJ Carr could be in New York in January, lifting that Heisman Trophy. So, CJ Carr, you check my boxes. You're a go. Next up on the list, we have Arch Manning at plus 850, 9-1 on some books. Arch Manning was a preseason Heisman favorite last year. We know how that worked out. It didn't work out for him or for Texas. There's a lot of pressure on this kid. All right? Because he's playing in Austin, big football school, because of his last name, he's got big shoes to fill. And, I mean, the Texas Longhorn fan base, they expect results right away. So year 2 of the Arch Manning project down in Austin, it's national championship or bust for this team, for this kid. I don't think he has it in him. I have not liked what I've seen so far. I think Texas is going to be a good team this year. I don't know if they're going to be competing for the national title. They might be just skating into the college football playoff with their tough SEC schedule. But Texas is not going to be good because Arch Manning is wowing us offensively. They're going to be good because of the team around him, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's where Texas is going to thrive. I think Arch Manning, just like last season, on top of the odds board preseason, I think he's going to fall very, very quickly, especially with looking at Texas, their schedule as well. Having to face teams like Ohio State for one, going to face a very tough defense early on. Let me find the rest of their schedule. Because they had, very, very tough SEC schedule. We know how tough the SEC is in general. Sure, they do get to avoid Georgia and Alabama, but you've got to go to Tennessee. You're facing Oklahoma. You face a revamped Florida team, Ole Miss. You have to go to Missouri. You have to go to LSU. You have to go to Kyle Field to take on Texas A&M. It's just a very, very tough schedule. And again, I don't think Arch Manning's numbers are going to be good enough to compete with some of the other quarterbacks in this class. So Arch Manning, I'm out on. I do not see Arch Manning winning the Heisman this year. Plus 850 if you'd like to donate to a sports book, but I do not see Arch Manning lifting this trophy in January at the end of the season. A couple other guys on the list that are going to be favorites in my eyes. One guy, Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver for Ohio State. He's listed about 15-1 right now. He's about the 5th on the odds board for the Heisman. I do not think Jeremiah Smith is winning this trophy. I would love to back the no. Jeremiah Smith to win the Heisman, no. I would love to lay whatever juice on that number because I don't think this guy's winning it. All right, this is a quarterback award, people. All right, we have had just 5 non-quarterbacks win this award since 2000. 3 of them were running backs: Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, and Reggie Bush. The other 2 were wide receivers. And yes, 2 of those guys were in the past 5 years. Travis Hunter, just 2 years ago, wide receiver, won the Heisman Trophy. 2 things I think we can all agree on. Number 1, he did not deserve that award. Number 2, he definitely didn't win that award because he was an outstanding wide receiver. The reason he won the Heisman was because he was a two-way player. Personally, he was better on defense. Now, the other wide receiver that won it back in 2020, Devontae Smith, he won that award because he had 700 more receiving yards than the next leading receiver. He was also competing in a quarterback class of Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Zach Wilson, and Sam Howell. He doesn't have guys like CJ Carr, like Dante Moore, like Josh Hoover in this class to compete with. Jeremiah Smith is going to put up big numbers this season. No doubt about it. He is not going to have good enough stats to put him over the quarterbacks in this class. This Heisman Award, it is a quarterback's award, regardless of what anyone else might tell you. Betting on a quarterback for this award sets you up for success. Jeremiah Smith, I just don't see him doing enough to stand out above some of the quarterbacks in this class. And then finally, last but not least, Jaden Maeva. Now, he's down there. He's more of a long shot, listed at 28-1. Quarterback for USC. Jaden Maeva, you're not going to win the Heisman this year, mainly because USC is not going to be that good. I don't think USC is going to make the college football playoff. I would have them outside of the top 12, outside the top 15 in the country, really. So betting on a quarterback that's not even going to make the college football playoff at the end of the season, probably not a good bet. Jaden Maeva, yes, one more year in Lincoln Riley's system. Sure, he might have better weapons than he has had in the past. But again, the team in general is not going to be good enough to propel him to a Heisman place. We saw that with, obviously, Travis Hunter, a Heisman winner on a bad team. All right, he was not a quarterback. That's a big anomaly. I really just don't even factor in Travis Hunter's Heisman winning because that was such a fluky year, in my opinion. But Jaden Maeva, simply put, the team is not going to be good enough to put him in this Heisman conversation. Maybe he does wow you with 4,000 passing yards, but again, the team in general, not going to propel him enough to be in this conversation. So 3 guys that are not going to win the Heisman. You can donate to the sports books if you'd like. Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith, and Jaden Maeva. Those are 3 guys that are not going to win the Heisman. Who could win the Heisman? I already talked about CJ Carr a little bit. I do like him. I'd like a little more than 7-1. Personally, I'd like to be in that 10-1, 12-1 range, but 7-1 with CJ Carr, not terrible. My personal favorite is actually Dante Moore of Oregon. If you're giving me a free unit right now to bet on anyone, it would be Dante Moore. You can find him around 15-1 to win the Heisman. He's returning to the Oregon system. Last year, this guy was 3rd in the Big Ten in both passing yards and passing touchdowns. He was top 12 and top 6 nationally in those categories. He also added 156 rushing yards, 2 on the ground. I really like Oregon's schedule, and that's mainly why I'm leaning into Dante Moore being such a stud and winning this Heisman, is because Oregon, some of their toughest games their toughest game is at Ohio State. Other than that, you play USC on the road, but you're staying on the West Coast. I'm not worried about that. You face teams like UCLA, Nebraska, Illinois on the road, who's not going to be scary this year. Northwestern, who's terrible. Michigan's in a rebuild. Michigan State, don't even know that they had a football program. And then Washington, who is definitely falling down the Big Ten. Washington definitely not as good as they've been in the past, even with Demon Williams returning to Washington, there might be some locker room issues with his whole transfer portal ordeal. But Oregon, very favorable schedule. All right, they get to avoid Indiana. You get to avoid a team like Penn State. You get to avoid Penn State. Yes, you are playing Ohio State on the road. That's your toughest game. We saw last year, Oregon, this Ducks team, they lost 2 games. They lost to Indiana during the regular season. They lost to Indiana in the college football playoff semifinals. Oregon can survive a loss on the road to Ohio State and then still maybe overtake them in the college football playoff. And Dante Moore is going to be the reason this team has success. Dan Lanning, very good motivator, already working with this guy for multiple years now. They do have quarterback in waiting, Dylan Raiola, who's not going to see the field this year because Dante Moore returning, going to have a Heisman-worthy season. If you gave me a free unit right now, Dante Moore is my Heisman choice as of right now. I'm going to be putting out some specific picks later for this award. One more guy on the list who I just can't get a feel for is Darian Mensah, quarterback for Miami. This guy is in his 3rd school in 3 years. Played for Tulane, played for Duke. Now he's playing for Miami. He transferred to Duke last year and couldn't even beat that same Tulane team he left. He's working his way up from G5 football to middle of the pack ACC. Now he's, in a legit Power 4 football school in Miami, but he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's got big shoes to fill. Carson Beck transferred into Miami, took them to the national title in 1 season. Now they're paying Darian Mensah north of $5 million to try and do the same. And this guy really hasn't shown it at either previous school that he has what it takes to succeed at this level. I don't see it. I don't know why this guy is so high up on the Heisman betting board. Maybe it's because Miami's defense is going to be a little worse, so he's going to have to inflate those offensive numbers to give them a shot at winning any sort of games. But Darian Mensah, I just have not seen. I just haven't seen it from him in the past 2 years. I don't think he's going to show out at Miami, especially not like Carson Beck did. I definitely don't think Mensah is going to be in the Heisman conversation here towards the end of the season. So, a little bit of Heisman talk for you folks. Again, 3 guys that are not going to win: Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith, and Jade Maeva. 2 guys who might win: CJ Carr, Dante Moore. And I'd even wouldn't hate a sprinkle on Josh Hoover either, just because he's a gunslinger. Obviously, we saw that down at TCU last year. Now he's getting paired up with Curt Cignetti, who, number 1, has an incredible winning record. Number 2, has a great track record with transfer QBs and new QBs and putting them in a system that helps them thrive. I think Josh Hoover is going to have a very good season for the Hoosiers. Obviously, a lot of pressure filling in for Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, national championship quarterback. Indiana expects to be back in the national championship conversation. Josh Hoover probably has the tools to get him there, especially if his arm's working out. So don't hate a sprinkle on Josh Hoover either, but Dante Moore and CJ Carr are my 2 favorites to be the Heisman this year. You can get all those thoughts at bettingnews.com. Plenty more college football content coming your way as the season is six weeks, folks. 6 weeks from Saturday, we will have meaningful college football on our screens with week 0. Hell of a week 0 slate as well. Typically week 0, we maybe get 3 to 5 games. We've got 8 lined up on Saturday, August 29th, including North Carolina and TCU going head to head. So should be an incredible season. 6 weeks away from tomorrow, we'll have college football week 0. So little bit of some college football chatter. As always, peep the scribbles at bettingnews.com. Be on the lookout for plenty more coming your way. All right, college football done. Soccer hat back on. Let's talk some soccer because we have 2 MLS games today that we've got to discuss. The first one happening in Nashville. Nashville SC taking on Atlanta United at Geodes Park. And Nashville is a heavy favorite for a reason, right? They have not lost at home yet this year. Looking at who they have played at home, how they've done. Nashville, 4-1 win over New England. 3-1 win over Minnesota, 5-0 over Orlando City, 4-2 over Charlotte, 2-2 with DC United. They didn't lose. They drew. 3-2 over LAFC, and then 2-1 over New York City FC. What is that? 6-1? 6-0-1, excuse me. Unbeaten at home, 6 wins, 1 draw. Why would I expect them to lose tonight against an Atlanta United team who isn't good? Period. End of sentence. Atlanta United, second worst team in the Eastern Conference right now. Just 3 wins all season long. Lost in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. They haven't gotten a win. Haven't gotten an MLS win in, it looks like, 6 matches overall. Already lost to this Nashville team at home, 2-0. Now they're on the road, where Nashville is rock solid. And we are just going to stick with all reliable Nashville and the under. Nashville on the money line, under 4.5, minus 106. If you'd like to take this down to 3.5, plus 143, feel free. Me, I'm a little worried about Nashville's offense lighting it up. I don't think they're going to win 5-0. I don't think they're going to let in a goal. So I also endorse Nashville to win to 0, which can be found. That ought to be plus money. Looking at these odds, let's take a look real quick. Team props. Nashville to record a shutout is plus 136. So Nashville to record a shutout and win, that ought to be close to the 2-1 range, probably plus 180-ish if you do like Nashville to win to 0. But I do. I think Nashville wins. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. 3-0 Nashville at most, which can be found. Let's look at that number. 3-0 Nashville, 10-1. 2-0 Nashville, plus 675. You can take your pick there, but Nashville's getting the job done in a low-scoring match. This is the top team in the Eastern Conference facing the second worst team in the Eastern Conference. Nashville very, very strong. Incoming Atlanta 4-1, maybe. I mean, based on what we saw yesterday with Seattle and Portland, that's exactly what's going to happen. Make it 5-1, actually, Atlanta. But Atlanta not scoring, shutout in their last match against Columbus. Just 1 goal in their prior 3 matches as well. Again, facing a team that already shut them out once. In that match, when Atlanta played Nashville in Atlanta, Nashville, 8 shots on goal compared to just 4 for Atlanta, 7-5 on the corner kick battle. Nashville simply dominated. They didn't really control all the possession, just 45% of possession, but that being because Atlanta was playing from behind for most of the match. So I think Nashville wins a boring, low-scoring game, undefeated at home, exactly drip. They're going to keep it going with a win tonight. Low-scoring win, please and thank you. Nashville and the under 4.5. Again, feel free to take this down to 3.5 for plus 143 if you'd rather, because I just don't see it getting out of hand. Don't see it getting out of hand. Have not been impressed with Atlanta. Very impressed with Nashville, standing alone on top of the Eastern Conference right now. We've also got a future on Nashville to win the MLS Cup, so we're hoping that happens. Sam Surridge Golden Boot, very much still in play, as he has, what's he up to? 7 goals. He's fell down a little bit. Oh, that's just Atlanta United, excuse me. I was like, that's not what I need to look at. BTTS no is plus 102. Yeah, I mean, there you go, Bisney. That's why, yeah, Nashville to record a shutout is like plus 136. So Atlanta's team total under, yeah, probably around plus 130-ish. But don't hate that. I think Nashville does win in shutout fashion. Definitely going to be a low-scoring game, though. So give me Nashville and the under at minus 106. Then one more match tonight. In the MLS, we got LA versus LA. The LA Galaxy taking on LAFC out in Carson, California. The Galaxy here. Favorites at home. Those numbers are actually flipped. No problem. LAFC, all good. LAFC is a slight favorite here, plus 116 on the money line. LA Galaxy about plus 195. I was like, I'm going to be surprised if the LA Galaxy's that big of a favorite. And if they were, what am I missing? But that makes a lot more sense. LAFC, I think the stronger side here. Now, the Galaxy have been playing well. Definitely better than they did last year. Definitely better than I expected them to do this year. 5-5-5 with a 0 goal differential so far. Those are nice, clean numbers for you. LAFC started off red hot. I believe 7 straight wins, 6 of them shutouts, something like that. But now they're just 7-3-5. So since then, since the beginning of the season, they really have fallen down, but they've been playing good teams. They have losses to Seattle, who's near the top of the Western Conference. Excuse me, they beat Seattle. They've lost to Nashville, who's on top of the Eastern Conference, like we said. Lost to Houston, who's up towards the top half of the Western Conference. They beat Minnesota, who's very much up there towards the top of the Western Conference as well. They've been playing good teams, maybe haven't gotten the results that they'd like, but facing Little Brother tonight in Little Brother's home, LAFC takes on the Galaxy. This is a tough one for me because, again, in my head, LAFC easily, especially with that plus sign next to them, plus 116 for the 90-minute line. I was also leaning towards the under. What's scary about the under is the past 5 matches between these two teams, they've all gone over 3 goals, which is our line right now. We saw 6 goals between the two of them last meeting, 4 prior to that, and then 6 again prior to that. So in the last 3 head-to-head matchups, 6-4 and 6 total goals between these two teams. And yes, I am still leaning towards the under, mainly thinking that it's a rivalry game. Teams are going to show up defensively, be a little bit more focused. LAFC scoring just 1.6 goals per game, conceding just barely over 1. LAFC exactly 1.47 goals scored and conceded this season. Leaning very much so with LAFC. I will have scribbles out for these 2 games, both Nashville and Atlanta, as well as the LA battle. Leaning towards LAFC. Don't know if I'm going to quite get there. I might just have to take a stab at the under. Under 3.5 at minus 175. That's way too pricey for me, but maybe that under a flat 3. Under a flat 3 price right now, minus 108. You're getting push potential there. I already read you off the head-to-head stats, which is not encouraging for this under. 6-4 and 6 total goals. But again, LAFC defensively, they do have that part of the ball figured out. In their last few, shutout Seattle, 3 goals allowed to Nashville on the road, 2 goals allowed to St. Louis on the road, 4 goals allowed to Houston on the road. Maybe they don't have the defense figured out. They did earlier in the season. Nashville money line and the under 4.5 is minus 120 on the blue book. Add Nashville to score first. Get it plus 102. Love that drip. Let's ride. Did you know that you used to be able to buy a $40 membership to get ownership stake for Nashville FC? I actually think I remember hearing about that. I mean, multiple years ago at this point. But yes, drip. That does kind of sound familiar to me, actually. I should have bought. I should have bought in. Got part of the Nashville ownership squad, but that's all right. This match, no bets right now. I will have bets for them in my scribbles here in a little bit, so be on the lookout for that. But again, leaning towards LAFC on the road and the under. Not exactly sure how I'm going to play it, but I will let you guys know as soon as I do. Those are the 2 MLS matches for tonight, and no more MLS until next Wednesday. Full slate next Wednesday is what it looks like, so we'll be diving in there. But we do have 2 more World Cup matches to discuss because we got 2 going off this weekend. First one on Saturday at 4 o'clock down in Miami, France and England. Now, this is the 3rd place match. All right, so what do teams care? Do they really care? One man definitely cares, Kylian Mbappe, who is still competing for the Golden Boot Award. For whatever reason, goals in this 3rd place game do count towards that award. So do assists for the tiebreaker aspect of it. I think that's ridiculous, personally. Maybe it's just because I don't have a Kylian Mbappe ticket. Maybe. But counting consolation game goals towards the top goal scorer of the tournament seems a little iffy to me. But those are the rules. We can't change them. We just got to play with them. So it would be smart of me to hedge my Messi Golden Boot ticket with Kylian Mbappe to score. Maybe I'll do that. I can't imagine those odds are going to be playable. And the other thing you got to think about is I don't know what the motivation for these two teams is going to be. I don't know who is going to show up. I don't know who is going to want to show up. Kylian Mbappe minus 140 right now to score a goal against England. This total has steamed up. As you can see, the over 2.5 minus 225. A few days ago, that over 2.5 was like minus 130. To me, seems like there's not going to be a lot of defense in this match. I don't think there's going to be a lot of motivation to play defense. This, despite it being a third place match, it is meaningless. All right. Yes, there are some cash incentives for the third place team that the fourth place team does not get. These guys don't care about that. All right. They're making enough money. If they're going to show up, it's going to be for pride for their country. Defensively, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot in this game, especially with that total movement. Because the total right now listed at 3.5 goals, over is plus 110, minus is 134. It's taken a lot in me not to back that under 3.5, especially with the line movement. Because in my opinion, this has 2-1 written all over it. I think France jumps out to an early lead, gets Mbappe his goal, probably in the first 30 minutes of the match, subs him off immediately. Get Mbappe his goal, get him off the pitch, get him ready for the club season. I am probably going to have to wait till I see lineups to actually lock anything in this game because there's just so many question marks of how they're going to play it. England, I wouldn't even field a team. If I was England, I'd pull a Notre Dame and just say, hey, we're going to go home. We're not playing. There's no point. We just gave up a horrible 1-goal lead against Argentina in the final 5 minutes of that match. Sucked the life out of us. We got no motivation to play this game. And maybe that's the English side we see. Maybe we see a bunch of reserves who actually want to be there and actually want to play because they're actually getting on the pitch. Who knows? I'm going to wait for lineups for this match. I am going to have scribbles out for this game at bettingnews.com. I would expect them a little later than normal, folks. This match, 4 o'clock Central tomorrow. I am going to wait as long as possible before I lock in a bet in this game because, again, there's just way too many question marks in my head. I don't think we should have this game. I'm all for more footy. Obviously, I'm a footy fan, but this third place game just seems redundant. I wouldn't expect Mbappe to really try if he wasn't going for the Golden Boot. That's kind of the only reason I think he brings any motivation into this game. So, France, England, we're going to figure it out tomorrow. I'm going to have some scribbles at bettingnews.com, but leaning with both teams to score, which is priced at minus 250. Don't really like that. Go ahead and add France if you'd like to. That's what I did look at. I actually put that in the banners over here. This is what I was looking at was France money line and both teams to score plus 212. I mean, I would just do a half unit on it, just something to have some skin in the game here because I do think both teams find the back of the net. Like I said, I do think it's going to be 2-1, maybe either way, maybe towards the French side. French on paper have more attacking power, in my opinion. It's just going to be a matter of if they show up. As far as the reserves go, I think France's reserves are much better than the English side. So leaning with France a little bit there, but I am going to try and wait till lineups come out to get into that one. But that brings us to the main event, the World Cup final on Sunday at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Spain, and Argentina. Just like we all expected, right? Spain and Argentina in the World Cup final. Now, before we get into the handicap of this game, transparency, right hand up. I got a future on Spain. I have a future on Spain at 5-1 to win this tournament. So everything, all of my thinking, all of my bets, all of that happens with that in the back of my mind. I have a 5-1 ticket on France, or on Spain, excuse me. If Spain wins, we're in good shape. We profit. You might be saying this is a perfect time for me to hedge with Argentina, and you'd be correct. And if you are holding that same Spain 5-1 ticket and you're not as confident, you put a little money on Argentina to lift the cup. Don't mess with the 90-minute line. Argentina to lift the cup at plus 130-ish. You can hedge out if you'd like. I will not be doing that. I will not be doing that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have enough faith in this Spanish team. I think they're going to get the win. I think they're going to win the World Cup. They're one of my preseason, pre-tournament picks to do so. I'm not going to stray away from there. I looked at Argentina plenty pre-tournament. Didn't think they were going to get back to this position. Still don't think they're going to win this match. So I'm going to leave them alone. We're just going to write out Spain to win at 5-1. I had thoughts of doubling down on Spain and taking them, whether it is to lift the cup, maybe to do it in 90 minutes at plus money, plus 125 there. I had those thoughts. But ultimately, what I'm rolling with is doing what I do best. And that is paying the juice, man. I am not afraid of a juicy wager. Taking Spain in a clean sheet, LT, my man. Thinking the same. Because I think it's going to be 1-0 Spain. I think this is going to be 1-0 Spain. I think it's going to be boring for all you casual soccer fans who are going to sit down and think we're going to get a 6-goal thriller like we did in 2022 between France and Argentina. Not going to happen. If you are a casual soccer fan, I am sorry. This match is probably going to bore you to death. But I think it's going to be entertaining because, yeah, he's not going to like that. He's not going to like that. Boost Man is not going to be happy. We're rolling with the under. Under 2.5, minus 150. Drinking the juice. You can get the under a flat 2 at plus money if you would like. Under a flat 2 is plus 127. For a flat 2, push potential plus sign if you don't want to pay this juice. Maybe you wait a little bit. Maybe you line shop. Maybe you find minus 140 for this number. Who knows? But we're rolling with the under 2.5. Here is my thinking. Everybody liked France against Spain. Everybody. The entire world, myself included. I don't think anybody had... There were a few people. The general public had France moving on. Didn't necessarily think Spain stood a chance. What did Spain do in that match? They controlled possession. They kept the ball away from the French attackers. They forced them to play defense for a lot longer than they were used to. And that's what this Spanish team can do better than anyone else in this tournament, especially better than Argentina. They can sit back and play keep away for 7 minutes at a time, for 10 minutes at a time, however long it takes. Spain is patient. They are comfortable playing the ball in the back line. From the back line to the midfield, back to the midfield, they've got no problem. They are not in go, 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 go mode 24/7. They sit back, let the game open up, and keep the ball away from the opposing attackers. You cannot score. Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, they cannot score if they don't have the ball. It really is that simple. If Spain plays keep away, it is much harder for Argentina to produce anything offensively, especially if they're spending so much time defending. And then finally, when they win the ball, their legs are too tired to make those counterattacking runs because they've been playing defense for 10 minutes. Spain is going to come into this game with no issue boring people to death. That's how Spain is going to want this game to go. If Spain score first, like they did against France, we're going to see what we saw in the semifinal. Spain's really going to play keep away. They're really going to call off the dogs. There's going to be no need to. All they're going to have to do is defend Messi and the Argentinian attack. Now, Spain should know by watching England and Egypt. I think that's it. You can't sit on a lead with this Argentina team. They are too good offensively. If you sit back and let them keep crossing the ball into the box, eventually they're going to score. But Spain is not going to be like England and stop trying to win the ball and really just park the bus. Spain, how they're going to defend a 1-goal lead is by getting wide, staying in formation, and essentially playing keep away. If Spain score early, I would expect them to just play keep away with the ball for the rest of the match. If Argentina score first, now things are going to open up a little bit more. Spain is going to have to be more aggressive. I don't trust the Argentinian back line to hold a lead. It hasn't worked out against Cape Verde. Didn't work out against Switzerland. It won't work out against Spain. If Argentina score first, Spain is more than capable of finding an equalizer, 1-1 finish, boom, we cash our under. If Spain score first, they're going to really play keep away, really slow things down, just like we saw against the French. And maybe Argentina finds an equalizer. Maybe Spain scores a second goal. Either way, I think we're going to stay under that 2.5. Because again, Spain is just going to play keep away. They do not need to beat a team 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, whatever. They're also not going to go up 1-0 and completely abandon the game plan like England did. Spain is very, very strong on all 3 levels of the pitch. They're very sound. They're very, very patient, which I believe is going to be kind of the difference maker in this match. They can turn on the urgency when they need to. They haven't yet needed to this tournament. Late goals against Portugal and Belgium to win, but you never saw them panic. They always were in control. That's always what they wanted. And even against Portugal, where it was scoreless and still until stoppage time, Spain dominated the stat sheet. 100%. If you do believe in it being scripted, Danny is absolutely correct. Danny is absolutely correct. If you believe things are scripted, it's Argentina. We've already seen FIFA pull the strings on some of these other games to get them to this position. Why wouldn't they do it in the World Cup final? If you think it's scripted, it's Argentina. If you don't, maybe it's Spain. I hope it's Spain with my 5-1 future, but we will be on this under 2.5. Laid the 1.5 people to win a unit. Typically, I do just play a flat 1 unit. This one, we laid the juice. We're playing this to win 1 unit on Sunday in the World Cup final. Spain and Argentina under 2.5 at -150. And that is all I got for you, folks. 1 hour up, 1 hour down. We have had some fun here on episode 97 of the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network. Appreciate you guys as always. Peep the scribbles at bettingnews.com. You guys know the drill. Check out the other shows on the BNN because we got one later today at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. All Sauce team will be live talking WNBA and more with SBJ, Vsauce, and Sook. Our guy Beast McNeese on the 1s and 2s for that show at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. All Sauce team later today. Over or under on the third place game? I at the number right now, under. At 3.5 under. The steam worries me, but I also can't get a grip on whether or not there's going to be any defense played in this match. Maybe a little bit, but I don't want to say this is going to play like an all-star game. I don't think it's going to be that extreme, but it would not surprise me if there's a complete lack of defensive effort between France and England in the third place match. But under 3.5 at the current number. That's kind of my initial thoughts there. I will have scribbles out for that match, maybe with something more set in stone, but leaning with the under 3.5 at the current number. I'm going to fade that steam and think it's, 2-1 still could be very exciting. Stay under the 3.5. I just think 3.5 is too many goals in that third place game. So we'll see what happens. And that's all I got, folks. That's it. I'm out of here. Drip knows the deal. Came for the winner, stayed for the vibes. As always, come on back for more vibes. 5 o'clock Central. All SAS team will be live on this channel. I'm off for the weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll have some scribbles out all weekend long at bettingnews.com. Enjoy these last 2 matches of the World Cup, because that's it, folks. It's been a month. It's been a great month. It's come and gone. We've had a profitable tournament. Let's hope we end that way. Why you gotta do that, Drip? Why you gotta do that, brother? We're having a happy ending, man. We're having a happy ending. I was gonna send you off into the sunset, and now you do that. I'm just kidding. Everybody has their opinions. Chiefs don't suck, though. You're gonna see that in February when we win the Super Bowl, baby. Mahomes taking us to the promised land starting in September. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Good old Midwestern goodbye, as always, on this show. Enjoy the weekend. Come back 5 o'clock Central. All sauce team. See you guys later. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about